Episode of Realities May Vary, the podcast that does whatever it is that we want to do because there's no structure here in the world of podcasting, is there? I'm Brian Noonan, the man who does provide structure or wants me to have structure. As always, my co-host extraordinaire, Cody Gough. Hi, Cody.
Hi, dudes.
Hi.
Watching live. I screwed up tonight, and we are
Did you?
starting late specifically because of me. But I know that's the minority of our listeners, so I won't ruminate on that till the check-in. What you do want to hear is what we're talking about today. Brian's talking about butt implants. He's talking about he's going to meet the boy. I don't know what that means. It's
I
not
joined
mine.
Tinder, or not Tinder, Grinder. So that's exciting.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
He's gonna talk about dust, mold, poop. Was poop part of that, or did I make that up?
Poop, dust, mouse poop, and mold.
Okay, all right, so okay. So
Yeah, you were pretty close.
Right? Yeah, cool. I left my house last Saturday, so I've got that as a thing. Because that was kind of a fun little concert experience. And then what was the other thing? Oh, X marks the spot.
Oh yes, and you also you and your children went training the other day. Not like in training day, but you went on trains. No trucks, or maybe there were trucks. I don't know. We'll find out.
That's what I have to say about that.
All right.
That's not the most exciting.
I know. Yesterday though, I was looking for. Well, we could. Yeah, you can make it brief. I like your hot take on children's shoes though. Related to that story. So
yes, children, all children's shoes have Paw Patrol, all of them,
pretty much. Yeah,
100%. So you know I'm right.
I know they all have something on them other than just a swoosh or an N for New Balance or something like that. A lot of them have whether it's dolls or fairies or Paw Patrol or Spider-Man or something, and a lot of them light up. A lot of them are glittery. So yeah, and a lot of Velcro.
Yeah.
So is that what you saw with your? Now, does your son have Paw Patrol shoes?
2 pairs, not just two
shoes.
Yes,
2 shoes. Well, most of us have 2 shoes, unless we're unfortunate to not have a one leg.
That is fair. That is fair. But yeah. So anyway, that's what we got. Big show planned, only smaller because I literally
I thought you were gonna ruminate on it.
Well, now I'm not gonna ruminate on it in the first 30 seconds of the show, but now we're past
now you
that.
can ruminate. All right,
now,
you can ruminate on it now.
I just my wife left for a class or something at 7, and so I was just dad mode. I'm like, cool. I've got my daughter. I got it. In my head, I'm like, all right, what's next? Got to heat. All right, finish dinner. Then I got to clean her off. Then I got to feed her the bottle. Then I got to, try and convince my son not to come running upstairs screaming that he wants to keep playing with her and wake her up in the middle of the bottle. Then I'm doing the bottle thing. And then I'm like getting him ready. And then it's like, oh, it's bath time. We'll skip bath time. Then I go in his room. This actually did throw me off and isn't entirely my fault. I go in his room and just his bed is stripped. And there's no sheets anywhere. I can't find any sheets anywhere. My wife did this hardcore deep clean, redid all his wardrobe, took out all the stuff that doesn't fit, refreshed all his drawers, moved stuff around. There was a hammer and a screwdriver in there, and I don't know what the hell those were for at all. But she did like heavy construction, and there's no sheets except on the top bunk, which my son decided he doesn't want to sleep in. So I'm trying to process all this.
Since when? Because he has a slide on there.
Dude, I don't know. Next thing I know, it's 50. And I look over and I just go, oh my God, I'm supposed to do a podcast right now. And my phone. I didn't even know where my phone was. I ran downstairs. I wasn't on the wireless charger where I usually have it. I ran up to my office. I couldn't find my phone. I'm like, oh my God, Brian. Probably think something's wrong, or
I did think something was wrong.
Really flaky. No, what's wrong with me is I'm a sleep deprived parent that is apparently overcommitted and can't multitask when it comes to thinking about his kids. So I will cop to that.
I did get worried. Because I sent a shrugging emoji first at like 35.
Yeah.
Then at about then I sent a couple minutes later, I sent a, hey, good evening. Are we still doing this?
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything back. And then at about 50, I just was like, I figured something had happened. So I was like, I'm going to call it. I hope everything's okay. Let me know what happened.
Yeah, the uh
Which I
don't
thought
remember.
was nice. I came at it from a mature standpoint. Like, hey, is everything okay? Let me,
It's very kind and patient. Unnecessary. I don't know why you put up with it. But no. So usually, so behind the scenes look, usually at least I think the last like 8 or 10 weeks. So I used to like just show up like a couple minutes late, fine. But lately, the last couple of months, I think pretty consistently, I'll at least come into my studio and I'll join the restream is what we use.
Right.
So I just kind of open the window so Brian can see my purple backdrop. So he knows that I'm like my computer's on and that I have clicked on it.
Right. That something's ready to go.
And
You're ready
sometimes,
to go. It's
yeah, sometimes I don't walk into the frame till 3 minutes after, but he knows like I'm coming, like I'm on the way. Usually, and it's been better lately. I think the last couple months
right.
it's
Or
really
there, or
been.
you'll send a text. Hey, the kid set the bed on fire. I might be a couple minutes late.
Yeah.
I go, oh wow, that seems harsh. I don't know why. I don't know what kind of pyros you're raising over there, but yeah, okay, I can understand that.
Yeah, but no, nothing tonight. You just turned it on and it's like, where's Cody? So
That's
that's
all
how
right.
I'm
You're
doing.
here.
I'm flustered and stressed and I feel very bad. How are you?
Well, one, you shouldn't feel bad. Flustered and stressed, you can't help because you're, you got two tiny ones over there,
Yeah.
and they're taking their sheets off, even though he didn't take his sheets off. There's a lot going on. I am, I'm fine.
You were
Yeah.
better before you got blown off by our co-host.
No. That has nothing to do with it. There's just I'm realizing more and more I just don't want to leave the house because going out is stress inducing. I get I can't take the way I just can't take people only thinking about themselves. No one takes, people will just stop on the road, just stop because they're not sure where they're going, so they don't pull up. They just stop. They can hold up traffic. It's like, oh, I don't know where I'm going, and then God forbid you honk at them. So I'm fine as long as I'm in the house.
Mhm.
That's I'm dandy. I'm getting ready. I have to pull out my. I got a beer brewing kit for Christmas, and it's
Oh,
about time to brew up my beer. So that's coming up. But yeah, everything's fine.
what are you going to call it?
It's going to be Milford Amber Ale.
No, but what are you going to brand it?
Yeah, Milford Amber Ale.
Why are you calling it Milford?
Because that's my ancestral home in Ireland.
Oh, very nice.
Yes. That's why I'm calling it Milford.
Cool.
And then if I open, if I get another one, I'll call it something else. If I get another one of these kits, we'll see what happens. But yeah, everything's fine. What am I going to do? Complain? I sat outside for an hour after dinner tonight. That was nice. Listening to some Jackson Brown, watching the Bears. Not the football team. You know what Bears I was watching, and they're fine. They're all doing well. Lots happening up there in Alaska right now. There's a ton of them at the falls. A lot this week. Hey, big development this week. The salmon run must be getting on schedule because you can sit here and watch salmon leaping up the falls trying to swim upstream. Some of them leaping right at. Some of these bears are dumb because the salmon are jumping right and hitting them in the face, and the bears are missing them. And then all of a sudden, you'll see a bear just dive into the water, and it's like, oh my God, he's not coming up. I hope something didn't happen to this bear. And when they come up, they have a giant salmon in their mouth. They're just like, so yeah. And I played well, I'm sitting outside watching the Bears, and then I played this sniper video game that I had downloaded on my iPad.
What?
Yeah, I'm taking headshots on people. This is why I shouldn't leave the house. I'm sitting there, and I thought it came up as like a free game. It was on Instagram a while ago. I've had it for a while, but now once you're in the game, then you got to buy all kind of stuff, and I'm not buying all kind of stuff. That's spending money to upgrade my
Oh
weapon.
no. You know what that's called? That's called it's called pay to win.
Yes, pay to win.
That's the nomenclature they use. Now give me 1 second. I heard my son's door close.
Uh-oh.
Now one of two things happened.
Oh no.
He closed himself in the room, which is great. He's in bed.
Or
Or
he's wandering the halls.
Oh.
Could be Could be
Never
just
mind, my wife is home. We're good.
oh, okay, good. There you go. So,
I was like, what is
maybe he
that?
heard would think he just heard his mom come home, or was that her shutting the door?
I don't. It was probably. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. Take
I
a
don't know
break. She's
what's
home.
going on. Well,
Hand her off. Hand him off.
yeah. Free. Pay to win. It's not pay to play. It's pay to win.
No, it's pay to win because you can play a little, but then it's like, hey, here's your next to see. You get a headshot on a guy, and it's like, okay, and I'm using a hunting rifle because that's the one they give you at the beginning. And then it's like, oh, here's your next assignment, but doesn't look like you have enough range on this weapon,
Mm.
or you don't have enough power, and I'm like, I'm not paying any money to play this game. I can get a couple shots in and blow some people's heads off, and then that's it. But you're
Yeah.
not getting $4.99 for some diamonds, so I can upgrade to a better sniper rifle, which would be kind of cool though. And yeah, it's great. I'm a pretty good shot in this sniper 3D video game.
I'm sorry you had the rug pulled out under you. Hey, why don't you X about it?
I don't know what to do with the X because I hear X stories and I'm thinking, and there's already a lot of porn on the artist formerly known as Twitter, but now it's going to be very confusing. And could Elon Musk be the worst business person in the history of business? That could be the question. What do you think? Now? I'm still getting the bird. Not fingers. I don't have an X anywhere on my Twitter account.
When I open Twitter mobile, because I deleted the Twitter app.
Oh.
So when I open it in Chrome, it's m.twitter.com or whatever. I get the X logo.
Really?
Not the bird. Yeah.
Oh my.
So I don't know when they're updating the logo.
Hold on. Here we go. I just opened it in my Chrome browser. Yes, there's the X.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So anybody that hasn't followed the news today, Twitter, well, Elon Musk apparently, first of all, is obsessed.
Lost his mind.
He's obsessed with the letter X to the point where he named his last son X. That is his first name. It's X. Remember, like XAE-12 pi lambda nu or whatever it is. His first name's the kid's first name is literally X. Apparently, SpaceX. Apparently, he's obsessed. Apparently, I've read like a headline. I don't know if this is true, but from the 3 seconds I spent reading it, he's obsessed with the letter X. He's always wanted to call a company X, and now he just has like X.com or something. And now Twitter is one of the most recognized and recognizable brands in the U.S.
Yeah.
I read a statistic: 86% of Americans are familiar with Twitter, or at least the term. That's more than podcast.
Right.
More people know what Twitter is than podcasts.
Really?
By a few percent, it's according to somebody.
Okay.
And I guess who cares? There's no more Twitter. It's just X.
Well, yeah, but the domain, like in the URL is still twitter.com.
Yeah.
And so what do? We don't tweet anymore then?
I don't know.
We X?
Tweet or retweet? Maybe you X and then you X squared? Maybe you X plus?
Because if I X tweet, that to me would mean I'm crossing it out. I'm deleting it. Or I'm seeing tweets from women that I used to go out with. But they can't be tweets anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to see anybody's X's. I don't want to see my ex's X's. I don't know if any of my exes are on X.
Yeah.
I was on X one time, but it was a rave, and I tested it first.
I usually go on it 3 times. I triple X.
Oh, very nice.
See what I do there.
Well, you know, they got some movies. They're going to actually make some movies available on Twitter. They're going to call it X Videos. Check that website
Isn't
out.
that already? I was going to say that's already a website.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Anyway, it's the
yeah. Anyway,
dumbest. Like it. The other thing, you know. So have you noticed this, Brian?
What's that, Cody?
Most successful, like huge tech companies,
yes,
have 2 syllables with the emphasis on the first syllable. Facebook, Twitter,
Google.
Instagram is an outlier.
TikTok.
Pinterest, if you count that as 2. TikTok, right? No, seriously. Firefox, Mozilla Firefox, Spotify. Well, that's 3. But you get what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
It's pretty. Discord is the chat that people use. Zoom is one. So yes, there's exceptions, but there's a lot to do with the cadence of how you say it, actually.
Right.
And X is not in that cadence of successful tech brands. MySpace, even back in the day, Friendster, like the list continues. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes,
so
but now it's X.
It's dumb.
Just X. Yeah, it's I don't know. I can't understand what he's up to. I don't see a reason to do it. You bought this company because I don't know. So is he Xing out the old people? What is the hidden meaning? Is there a hidden meaning? Is it just that he's got a hard on for X's, like you said?
Yeah.
SpaceX, Teslex.
Yeah.
That's the car, right?
Tesla. Tesla's another two syllable. That's not a tech company, but other tech company. Apple, like
Pied Piper.
That was good.
Thank you.
That was good. So,
I love the tech companies.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. So there's nothing to say about it. It's just really dumb.
You're right. The mobile app does it. The mobile app, my icon is still the pretty birdie. But then I go online, the desktop, and it's like, oh my God. And that's not even a good look at X.
We have a listener who's happy to hear us and used to listen to us back in the day, and love hearing from you. Thanks for commenting. Yeah. Says a guy I grew up with went from AMD vice president to Tesla, something vice president, electrical and chemical engineer. He lasted 6 months. Elon's nickname was Mumbles. They had to hide development plans to stop Elon's input. The guy left it is now at Google.
Oh, wow. Man.
If that's true, that's amazing.
Mumbles McGee, head of the company. Marta says he acquired it to take a loss or to make a loss. Well, hey, have you come around to Threads? I only asked because as quickly as I was on the Threads bandwagon, I'm off. I don't care. I think I lasted 3 days checking Threads or posting Threads, and then I went, this is as dumb as X. So I might as well just not do either one. So now, but I'm branded. I got the accounts, and I can't close the account because I'd lose Instagram.
Right.
So I'll just leave it idle, or maybe I'll go in there and like something.
I signed up to claim my username, and then I made my profile a direct insult about Threads, and then left. It says something if you think I'm stupid enough to join Threads, like you idiots, think again. Here's my Twitter handle. Like that's the whole bio. No picture, nothing.
Well, I like that, and by like I mean the reason I stopped. You're seeing everybody's feeds. It's like I don't care about 99.99% of the world. And it's funny to see like women who obviously were on Twitter, like showing their hoo-has and whatnot, on Threads going, so what do we do here on Threads? I don't know. And then all the political stuff. And then a bunch of weird, nonsensical garbage. So like I said, I lasted about 3 days. And this is how I know I don't care to look at Threads. Today I was rearranging the icons of the apps on my iPhone, and I put Threads in a folder. I was
no.
It's in the folder with Mastodon and all these other social media platforms that I never go to or never would go to. So yeah, Threads was relegated to a folder on my home screen.
Did you know that you're not alone, Brian? That a huge amount of the user base left like immediately?
No, is that true?
I tweeted a link to it, and just the caption was just ha 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 over and over in all caps. And it was literally like,
why are you trolling Threads?
I just hate it so much. Oh man.
Why does that become your modus operandi?
I love seeing these tech bros just fail miserably. It's dumb. Facebook's dumb. Meta's dumb. But yeah, they're down like 70% from when they were at their peak like a week ago.
Oh God.
Almost everyone's gone. It's like, okay. I know social media managers that are literally developing threads strategy points of view for brands because that's a social media manager's job. So everybody jumped on and like there are tens of thousands. I would put money on this of
What
social media managers around the country that had to drop everything and figure out a thread strategy last week. Guarantee it.
what does that mean exactly?
It means
Are
like
you telling me that a company or a celebrity is not threading out, or that's the other reason it's failing? Nobody knows what to call it.
mhm.
What am I doing now? What am I doing? I'm Xing, then I'm threading, then I'm threading the needle, and I'm threading my eyebrows. What is it? But all right, so you're telling me that none of these corporations, those aren't genuine thoughts. Those are all planned out by some sort of publicist or media planner.
No, they're thoughts. THOT.
No, that's not what thot means.
I actually don't know what a thought is.
A thought?
Yeah.
I do. It's that hoe over there.
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm. I'm very street, Cody. I
You're
don't know
very
if you know
street.
that. I am very street.
Yeah.
I'm down with what the children are saying.
Is is that why your week involved so much rat poop?
No, it was mouse poop, but no. A nice segue, Cody.
Thank you.
No, that's how I spent the morning yesterday. Because the ongoing saga of me trying to get my mom's house in order, the years long saga of first the inside of the house, then the inside of the garage. The last step before we can get a new roof on and get the ceiling fixed where everything had been leaking are these floor to ceiling cabinets that my dad and my uncle built in the garage 30 years ago, 35 years ago, maybe,
Wow.
maybe longer than that. And they at first were meant to store like holiday decorations and things like that. Then they began to be used like the back wall one was all holiday stuff for the most part. And the side one was anything else. The problem was once they were filled, then the rest of the garage filled in front of them. So the cabinets have not the stuff in the cabinets has not been seen, and I'm not being hyperbolic when I say this, in at least 25 years.
Wow.
So imagine, if you will, a cabinet that has been in a garage, a non-heated garage, with a leaky roof, and the amount of stink and mold and decay when you now I remember I told you last year when we cleaned out the garage how shocked my mom was that a lot of the things that were in the garage were ruined because they had been out there for decades,
Mhm.
literally decades. Debbie and Molly a while ago had opened up. I opened the cabinets, and they took one whiff and were like, "Oh my god, everything in here stinks like mildew. This is awful." Then we closed it. So anyway, yesterday was the day we were going to do it, and my mom has been. My mom had a revelation yesterday. She actually said, "Oh my God, I have become like a child, and you and Debbie have become like my parents." And I will explain why in a minute. So I had told her, "Listen, we're coming out. I got to get this job done. I can't have it hanging over my head any longer. I want it to be done. We got to go." So I said, "We're going to come out and we're going to pull everything out of the cabinets." And she was like, "But I want to be out there because I don't want you throwing away something I need, something you need." And I would go, "Mom, it's been in there for at least 25 years. There's nothing in there that you need." "Well, I want to see all right, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to pull it out, everything. I'm going to make 3 piles in your garage. I'm going to make a pile of stuff that maybe you're going to keep, a pile of stuff that Debbie and I think is stuff that you would donate, and then a pile of stuff that's just, it's got to be garbage for whatever reason." The reasons were mold, rotting wood, smells that Debbie said, even it would be cruel to donate stuff because it smelled so bad.
Mhm.
So that was but here's where the mouse poop and the mold and the dust come in. Every box that I was pulling out, mouse poop and stuff was just coating me. I had 2 masks on. That's how nervous I got because it was awful. And I'm pulling this stuff out. And it's, a lot of it is Christmas stuff that I remember from when I was a kid, but I haven't seen in decades because everything that she uses for Christmas now, I put in the shed out back. They have this big shed. And I had put all that stuff in there when I cleaned the shed out. So I'm pulling this out. That mouse stuff's falling on my hat and all over my hands and arms. And Debbie's like, oh, and she's standing way back. And it got to the point where I wouldn't even look at what was in some of the boxes and stuff in one of the cabinets because I don't care what was in there. There was so much stuff on the box. Nothing inside it could have been good. Those went right in the garbage. So we finally get it done. It doesn't take us long to empty the cabinets or to sort it out. And I had told my mom she was not allowed to come out until I went and got her because I didn't want her in the garage when everything was coming out. So she walks out and immediately she sees something in the garbage pile. Oh no, we can't throw that out. I go, Ma. And I'm trying to stay calm. And I'm like, Ma, there's a reason because I didn't want to throw it out either. But then I opened the box. It was a decorative sleigh, big decorative sleigh that she used to load with like bears. Excuse me. And I was like, oh, this is nice. And I opened it up and the wood was just warped and mildewed and molded. I shut the lid and I put it in the pile. This is garbage, which is what we did with all it. Oh, well, and I could see she's getting flustered. And then I was like, I said, sit down. Here, I'm going to explain what's going on. I said, this is garbage. This is stuff that we thought you would recycle. And this is stuff that you need to go through and decide if any of it you still want. But I don't, remember you haven't used it. And I'm trying to explain that to her. And Debbie's trying to explain. And she sees, when they got married 62 years ago, my parents 63 years ago, almost, her maid of honor and her husband had given them this big punch bowl set, big cut glass punch bowl set. Well, back in like the 60s and the 70s, for wedding showers and big fancy parties, they would use the punch bowl. Well, then the punch bowl went in one of the cabinets, and the punch bowl was never seen again until the box was in the recycle pile. She saw that, and she lost her mind. Oh, so-and-so gave me that. And I said, I know. I remember the punch bowl. It was, I remember it when I was a little kid, you making punch for big parties or lending it to people for showers, but you haven't used it forever. But it's so nice. I go, okay. Yes, it was. It may still be very nice. It was very nice. You're never going to use it again. Well, don't you want? I go, no, I don't want it. I'm not hosting any cotillions where I have to pour punch out of a giant bowl. And Debbie's like, Patsy, nobody entertains like that anymore. Oh, then she saw a chafing dish. Now the chafing dish had been bought. It was still in the box, as were a number of things that we pulled out. They were bought, never opened. Now, the chafing dish was all the way at the back of one of these shelves.
But what's a chafing dish?
It's got a little flame underneath, and if you're somewhere fancy, maybe they make Cherry's Jubilee with it, or it's a serving dish that keeps things hot.
Okay.
And I say Cherry's Jubilee because my mom saw this chafing dish that she had bought one time, her own words. Oh, I bought that one time. I'm like, yeah, I know. The chafing dish fairy didn't bring it and drop it off in the back of a cabinet, cover it with mouse shit, and then just let it sit for 2 decades.
Yeah.
I figured you bought it. And she says, um, she's like, well, I just saw a recipe for Cherry's Jubilee. And I thought to myself, if I had a chafing dish, and I was like, no, you didn't. There's no way. And Debbie goes, Pat, are you ever going to make Cherry's Jubilee? And she starts to, get that look like, what? And I said, be honest. No. Are you ever going to be entertaining where you'll feel the need to make a fancy flambe dessert? No, but I'm like, if you donate it, somebody's going to use it. Somebody really needs it. She goes, well, there's a pasta pot. Again, brand new, in the pot, never been opened. Don't you need a pasta pot? I go, I've been married 30 years. I have a pasta pot. I have a whole home set up. I don't need mouse shit covered pots. Thank you very much. So we were almost, I said to her, okay, do me a favor. You don't have to don't focus on the whole garage. Just do me a favor and look at this stack of stuff that we think is donatable. And I'll come Tuesday morning and I'll take the donations so then we can call the 800 Got Junk guys to come and get the rest of it. And this is where she became a kid because she's walking out and she goes, oh, what are these? Oh, rope lights. Well, what if I need rope lights and and I got to do this and I should, and we're like, stop. You don't need, these rope lights have been in there for 25 years. They've never been opened too. We don't even know if they work. And that's when she said, oh, I'm like a toddler. I didn't think of anything. And then I see it and all of a sudden I want everything that I see. And I'm like, yeah, so stop it. Go in the house. You're not, no. Wow. So this is what we're going. This is what we go through. And then she was starting to, so I made a little concession, She had all these Christmas villages that she used to put out all the time. And now she has it for, again, 25 years. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'd want to put a village out or something. Now I have some, I said, all right, how about this? The villages are off the table. I'm going to put the villages out in the shed and we'll bring them in and you tell us what you want set up and I'll bring it in. That'll be good. So don't worry. The villages, they're good. You don't have to worry about the villages anymore. So I'm hoping that little, concession on my part where I go, see, I'm not unreasonable. I just, so now Debbie and I are my grandparents, I guess. Because she said, every time you talk, I hear your grandfather.
Well, now, I thought like a year ago when you did the deep, intense garage clean so that she could get the whole car in and open the door on one side. I thought the whole thing was stripped completely bare at that point.
It was the outside of those cabinets, yes.
Oh my God.
The garage was completely, well, at that point, the garage was completely full, like Mr. Peabody's closet.
Yeah.
Then so for the last year, it has been the car and a couple things, but we knew, see, the problem is it took a lot out of her when we cleaned the garage. I don't know why. It takes a lot out of her anytime we do a project, even not physically, just mentally and emotionally. And so she then didn't want to do the cabinets right away. Why don't we just wait? And I was like, all right, we'll wait till the spring or the summer. And then it was, we'll wait till after I have my eye surgery. We'll wait till this. And then finally I was like, no more wait. Now you're on my schedule. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get it done. And yes. Boy. So that was, yeah. But yeah, 2 masks. It was gross. It was like my eye was itching, but I wasn't going to touch my eye. I knew I'd get some sort of rat fungus in there, mouse virus in my eyeball, and it'd fall out. So,
were they like COVID masks, or did you get like a
whole... no, I should have got one. I needed a big, like, old school gas mask with the 2 things on the side and filters. No, I had 2 of the regular COVID masks.
Yeah, I got one of those, the gas mask thing with the filters, which Because
Hold
for
on, Gidget's
woodworking,
whining.
yeah, I can tell.
Let me let Gidget out.
Yeah, I probably don't need it. Well, not for woodworking. For woodworking,
You got it.
I always have safety glasses and ear protection for
Go
woodworking.
on. Go downstairs.
I used to put on a little COVID mask or whatever. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't want wood in my mouth. I don't know. Boy, I sure hope you heard that. If not, that's fine. Your lens cap is now on. I think that was intentional.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was.
very nice.
I don't
You
need
have
you
one
to
of
see
those
my.
slide.
I don't need you to see that I don't have. No, I don't have the slide. This is because this is my external Logic Cam, and it has the privacy flip that comes down, so
Oh,
nobody
nice.
can hack and see what I do in my eye. I've seen enough movies and TV shows where they hack
Yeah.
in and they're watching you.
Yeah, on the free stuff table at WGN, someone left a little Better Business Bureau
Yeah,
branded.
I have one
Yeah.
of those on the monitor, the desktop. But then when I started doing this, I got the new camera, an external higher definition camera, and they had this camera, and then they had this camera that had the flip up privacy lens, and I was like, it's the same price. Why wouldn't I get the one with the flip down privacy lens? So I flip it down. I get some privacy. That way, you don't know when I stand up to like Gidget. You have Smarties?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Good
I
for
want to show you what I'm eating because it's for my diabetes and blood sugar was just about to be low. But
Oh no.
I could not find glucose tablets for the last like 6 months.
Really? Why not?
You can go, but like if you go to like Walgreens or CVS, it's like $20 for a bottle, right?
Yeah.
It's very
You
expensive.
get them on Amazon like cheap? What about that Mark Cuban place?
I did. I don't think they did glucose tablets. I did look on Amazon, and I got like a 6-pack, and then they stopped producing that flavor or having it in stock. And then they'll have this tropical. The one thing I can do any fruit flavors with glucose tablets, but when you go tropical, they taste like death. So
Really?
I go on the subreddit for diabetes, and everybody's like, Smarties are literally glucose tablets.
I love Smarties.
This is all they are, and you can get jumbo Smarties so that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, these are jumbo Smarties.
I
They're
thought
like,
it was just how close you were holding them to the camera.
no, look, it's actually bigger than my finger. They're like thick.
So how do you do a roll? Is there have you done the equating how many jumbo Smarties to a glucose tablet?
No, not exactly. I just usually pop a handful and I'm good. But you can buy a box of like 50. So I'm like, seriously, where have you been my adult life? It's like weddings, you can book a venue for like $5,000, but as soon as you say it's a wedding, it suddenly is 25.
Right.
Same with glucose. Oh, you're diabetic, and I'm sorry. Here's a $20 bottle of 50 glucose tabs, or you can just buy Smarties. And
Debbie's been using Starburst for the last number of months.
Starbursts are good.
So that's her, that's her glucose tablet. She goes through shareable bags of Starburst like nobody's business. All under the guise. I don't even know if she's diabetic, quite frankly. She will be after eating all that candy, but if she wasn't before.
Hi-oh.
But we'll see. Sandy's saying in the chat, oh, yeah, it's very emotional to get rid of things that have been part of your life for many years. I agree, Sandy. I understand that. I have the same problem. But if I hadn't seen something for 25 years, and I tried to explain. I said, listen, you have the memories. You don't need the stuff. Like I don't have, I don't have a ton of stuff from my grandparents or whatever. I have maybe one thing. I only have a couple things of my dad's, very small, but I remember. So you can remember, you don't need to just, cause it's harsh when I go, hey, you know what's going to happen when you die, right? Nobody's going to care and everything's going to get thrown out. At least this way you're kind of getting a say in the matter. But who knows? So tomorrow morning, I'm going to drive over and I'm going to take the donation stuff to donate. And and then we'll go back and get the garbage. And I'll put the villages in the shed and hopefully the other stuff, we'll donate that too.
I mean, if she wants the memory, if she wants it preserved, but not to take up space, an alternate method is you can take photos of stuff that has some value to you.
Yep.
But so that's a quick tip we got from curiosity.com.
That's what we did with a lot of pictures and certain like things that my brothers had made in grade school that were still in the house, like poster boards with the family tree on there and some other
Oh,
stuff, and it was like, let's go. We just
oh,
uh,
like this,
what is that?
like this lizard I'm holding up, like this
Did
paper
you make
mache,
that lizard?
like this paper mache lizard
Who made that?
that I made when I was like, I made this more than 30 years ago that my mom just sent home with me the last time I was
Wow,
in Rockford.
that's sharp. That's a good looking lizard.
It is literally like a 31-year. It's solid too. Oh, there's a Kathy comic on here. That's pretty cool. I use the comic section. There's
All
Kathy.
right.
There's Rosie Rose. Is that a
I don't
comic?
know. I used to love doing the paper mache in school with the chicken wire. I remember making we had a, we did a one with a balloon
Ooh.
where you used some chicken wire and then you cut the balloon in half and we made masks and I made a Spider-Man mask.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
This yeah, I can read little snippets. But yeah, it's a solidly constructed paper
Yeah.
mache dinosaur thing. And now I have it. And it's 30 years old, at least 30 years old, probably a few more than that. And I'm sure my folks recently thought to themselves, what the hell are we doing with this? And now I
Yeah.
have that privilege and honor of wondering what the, like, it's in my office, but
Right.
why? Why am like,
Exactly. Why? What are you
I
going to do
just,
with it?
I,
We have a crate. We have a big tub of Molly's, some stuff like that of Molly's downstairs. But we started taking pictures of her stuff and putting it, just keeping it on the computer, just the pictures.
yeah.
Because we do have two of her art projects from grade school still hanging in the house though.
Oh, that's nice.
Not on the refrigerator. There was like some Debbie loved these things from the time Molly did them, and I got no problem with. They're pretty cool. One is like a pointillism flower. It's and then the other is some sort of aluminum press of a giraffe. I don't know. It's hanging down in the basement.
Okay.
The flower's in our bedroom. So I'm like, this is getting a little odd.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that was the dust, mouse poop, and mold portion of the program.
You know what else I got?
What'd you get?
I got, I'll show you. I think I can show you this pretty easily.
The dragon.
You see that? You see that?
Is that a cassette thing?
Ah.
Is that for cassette tapes? Or is that like an
It's
Atari
upside down.
cartridge?
Oh my God, I put it down upside down.
Not
that one. Yep. VHS tapes.
VHS tapes. What do you think to do with those?
Well, yeah, 4 drawers full of VHS tapes of family movies, etc. That my dad was thinking about getting digitized, and then I was like, "Oh, I have a VCR to like basically DVD converter. Like I have a VCR first of all in my like dresser over there. I have a VCR.
That's amazing.
And I've got the AV thing that lets you just do it because it gets expensive.
It's very expensive. We digitized some of Debbie's mom and grandma had a bunch of movies. We digitized those, and then we digitized a bunch for my mom. And yeah, it was kind of pricey.
Yeah, give me like $5-10 a tape. And I had one place do it one time. I thought they were gonna lose my tapes because it turned out to be basically a front. I think I might have talked about this on the air. I'm sure I talked about it on the radio with you because I was living in Lakeview. It must have been 2010-ish.
Okay.
There was a place in Lakeview, right on Clark, right by Clark and Wellington, basically like a block south. And there was this like AV place, and it brought my tapes. And then I went on, they're like, "Oh, I'll have the tapes digitized in like a week," because I wanted it for Christmas.
Sure.
And I did it like way early. It was like beginning of November. I'm like, "Yeah, do you have time to do this?" They're like, "Yeah, no problem." Did it. They did not get back to me. They wouldn't answer my calls for like a couple weeks. And then I go on Yelp, and it was like, "Yeah, these guys are a scam. These guys never return anything. Like, it's just a front for drugs or like whatever." Like, everyone's complaining to the Better Business Bureau. They had an F at the Better Business Bureau. I don't know how they were still in operation. And I'm just like, they have my tapes. I have no backups. These are like all of my high school things. I will not be able to get them back. So thank God I am getting them back. I had to pay double. Then the guy in the front seemed like kind of a nice guy, and the guy in the back seemed like an asshole. And the guy in the front was like, well, he says you should have paid twice as much, but we'll cut you a deal. So I get the tape, the DVDs. The DVDs are all cut off. They digitized like 30 minutes of these tapes. I was
Oh,
like happy to get
God.
out of there. But yeah, I'd rather just do it on my own. But I haven't done it yet, but it'll take a while, I think.
Yeah, it does. I remember it taking a long time for us to get ours. Now they were there, and it was weird. The ones, it was cool to see, all these old tapes. But the cameras that my mom and Debbie's mom and grandma used didn't have sound, so it's all silent movies.
Oh,
Yeah, because there were no. It was back in the day when there was no microphones on the cameras.
huh.
Yeah, so we got a bunch of silent movies. Thankfully, I remembered a lot of people, and I'm able to go. Oh, but then there were like some that were so old. I'm like, how did they even have a camera back then? That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so that was that.
I gotta flip that upside down later.
Yeah.
I can't close the drawer now because the
Oh,
tapes are just
man,
fall
you-
at the bottom
you
one's
ruined it.
down. Like an
What
idiot.
else was on your list? You had something. You had other things to talk about, didn't you?
I went out, but I want to know what it means to meet the boy.
Oh, tomorrow. Tomorrow is we meet Molly's boyfriend.
Oh, that's right. Oh yeah.
That's tomorrow. So
Okay.
a lot of anxiety on my part. Just because
Okay.
I know somehow, even if I don't screw up, I'll screw up.
No, you won't.
No, I won't, but it will be perceived. There will be some sort of perception because we were told today. Well, not me. I'm not told anything. I get everything secondhand. It was reported to me that Debbie was told to remember that the boy is quiet, unlike our daughter. That was her words, not mine. She said, unlike me, he's very quiet. So I'm like, oh, so I shouldn't go, hey, what's your problem? You think you're better than me? You can't talk to me? Debbie's like, you would not say that. And I'm like, no, duh. Really? You think I'm going to see? I'm often baffled, and maybe the longer you're married, hopefully you don't become baffled by this, but you will, where you go, how have I lived with a person for 3 decades and she still doesn't get when I'm joking, which is most of the time because I don't care about a lot of stuff. And it still bothers her. She got bothered by that comment. And I'm like, obviously I'm not going to say that to him, but I have to get it out somewhere. You don't want me running the streets, just running up to people at Walmart telling jokes, So yeah.
I'm woefully bad at telling when my wife is joking, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. Like there's a particular brand of sarcasm that she'll do that's kind of like mine, but when she does it, it's so flat, like I don't pick up on it.
Oh,
So
all right. Well,
yeah.
good luck with that.
So I
wish you a long and fruitful marriage.
Yeah, I'm the Debbie in that half. Well,
Yeah. So
well,
I don't
if
know.
you need me to do it to be your stand-in, I can do
Sure,
it.
yeah. You want to do that? You want to is it no, who was the guy that had the guy talking whispered in his ear? It wasn't Don Quixote. Why am I thinking of Don Quixote? You know what I mean? The was it Cyrano de Bergerac? Was he the one who was like talking to someone on the balcony, but somebody was whispering all the lines to him in the back?
Oh, I don't know, maybe.
I don't know. No, here's what I'll do. I'll just tell Molly to tell him that I'm quiet too. Oh yeah, my dad's real quiet. He's very shy. He doesn't like to talk.
Perfect.
I'll just sit there. Because the other day I was like, so what do you want to do? You want to you want to have a little tailgate? You want to do it? Well, I don't know. I'm like, all right, I'm out.
How are you getting? Oh, well, you're going to the Sox game, so it's not
right. So we're going to drive and they're going to take the red line because they're city kids, Cody.
Right.
Even though technically I live in the city, but I'm not taking the public transportation. I'm not one of the great unwashed. I'm going to drive. I'm going to drive my private vehicle. I've already bought my parking. I'm set.
So I think you should meet them at your seats.
Well, I think we have the tickets, which may be we're going to meet them outside by the big World Series statue.
Okay, because if as much as you love leaving the house and dealing with other people
Oh,
driving.
I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there early enough so I can decompress in the parking lot. And
Oh,
quite frankly, I'm going to pregame the game. So I will bring a couple of beers with me. Oh, it was Cyrano de Bergerac. See, I was right. Thank you, Marta. It was so. I'm going to have a couple of pops when we park, just to sit, because yes, people will be driving me insane. And Molly, that was the one thing she said a couple of weeks ago. You know how you are. If you're upset because of traffic, or if you're mad, you just need to. I'm like, wow, I am such a terrible human being.
yeah.
It's horrifying. I'm surprised anyone even puts up with me. Well,
Well,
that's why we do this from a separate places.
Yeah, there's that. Well, I cannot wait to hear about it when we start on time next week.
We probably won't start. Oh, maybe I just won't talk. No, I'll tell them. I'm gonna no. See, here's the thing. I'm gonna get the. You are not to talk about this on your podcast. Just like after the wedding, when she was in the wedding last summer, and I was and she. That's the only time she listens, when she knows she may be part of a story. So next Monday, I'm going to have to speak in code.
Mhm.
You know, I'm hoping. I'm trying to figure out how the seating is going to go. Debbie did. We're sitting in the bleachers, which I love. Debbie said, "And I got you an aisle," so that's good. So but who's going to be sitting next to me? Is it going to be Molly, the boy, or Debbie?
Oh, for sure, your wife.
I would hope. Yeah. Then
like 100%.
So Debbie, then Molly, then the boy.
I mean, unless for some reason they're thinking you, the boy, and then Molly, and then Debbie, but I don't see that happening.
Oh God, this could be awkward. Yeah, I don't know.
Like if you sandwich them, like you and Debbie on the outside, it's like a pincer.
How about
attack.
me? Yeah, me, the boy, then Debbie.
Does
we
he
just
need to be
pepper him with questions.
Flanked? I just yeah, I don't.
Well, you're
I don't
pretty
know.
quiet. You quiet? What's the matter? Got nothing to say? You're like baseball?
He might be at the end. I think it'll be you, Debbie, Molly, then him.
Yeah, he may actually not be sitting in our row. I don't know how I didn't buy the tickets. So I have nothing invested in this plan. I was told a couple months ago we were going to this game. At that point, I thought that's very far away.
Yeah.
Who knows what could happen by then?
I want to take bets on the seating order. I want you to explicitly tell her that I requested that if nothing else, if you are not allowed to say a word about this thing, all I want to know is the seating order.
Okay.
What is your guess? What do you think it will be?
Oh boy. I know either Debbie or Molly are going to be the buffer.
Right.
So I'm on the aisle. Then I'm going to guess, and this is the least optimum, Debbie, Molly, then the boy. But then the boy is isolated and he doesn't really get to talk to us, which may be by design. If I would almost like it to be Debbie, me, Molly, the boy, then Debbie. Because quite frankly, I see Debbie all the time.
Right.
She's been working from home for the last month. It's driving me nuts. She's got to go back to the office for a day or two. But I think it's going to come down to me, Debbie, Molly, and the boy. Those last two seats may flip, and it might be the boy then Molly. But I see Molly being more anxious about this than me. And really, overthinking it and maybe not being on her best behavior and then blaming me for her not being on her best behavior.
All right. So your guess is Brian, Debbie, Molly, then the boy.
Yes.
So that's where my head is at. But just to switch things up, I will guess Brian, Molly, boy, Debbie.
Brian, Molly, boy, Debbie. I like that. That was okay.
I'll do the sandwich guess. We'll see what happens.
All right.
See what happens.
This is going to be fun.
This is great. I'm so happy. Okay. All right. Ken is guessing Oh, Debbie, Brian, Molly, and then the
No,
boy.
I have the aisle. That's a deal breaker.
The aisle's a lock.
Yeah,
Okay.
the aisle. I am on the aisle. There's no question. Unless this kid comes in, plops his ass down in the aisle seat, and then we got trouble. It's like on The Sopranos when Meadows' date tried to buy dinner and Tony wasn't having it. This kid sits in the aisle seat. We're fitting to fight, boy.
All right. Well, Gina's with me in the chat. Throw in your lot in the chat, and we'll check.
Yeah,
I'm making notes.
Throw in your guess.
So,
You have until about 6:30 tomorrow to make your guess.
yeah. Good.
And
right.
you could also throw in something wild, like I have a hissy and I don't go in, or Debbie gets sick, or the boy is called away on an Eagle Scout mission, or he's got a trombone emergency somewhere. He plays trombone.
I know.
All right.
I know. That's so good. Anyway,
that's awesome. He's got a trombone emergency. Do they have it? You played instruments. He got trombone elbow, and he couldn't come to the game.
Oh, Ken says the winner gets Cody's school project lizard. Oh, that's amazing. Yes.
All right.
Yes. The prize is Cody's school project lizard.
Will you sign it?
Yeah.
As the artiste? All right.
Oh, yeah, I'll sign it. It's got a Kathy comic in here.
Now we got a contest going.
And Rosie Rose.
See, I got to be honest. Now that you threw the paper mache lizard in as a prize, Debbie might try to throw it just to get that lizard.
I don't know. We both know she doesn't listen to this show, but
no. Well, no, she does sometimes because she'll come down and go, "Oh, I heard you. I heard what you said." So she'll pretend she's watching TV, but she's downstairs eavesdropping.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. So that's tomorrow.
Well, I can't wait.
Excited.
Well, I can't wait. Well, I left my house over the weekend.
Why?
To a public place. It was a fluke. It was a fluke.
Yeah, Brian. I was going to say, what happened?
Total fluke. Well, my mother-in-law was visiting this weekend, which was nice.
So
okay. Yeah, she was in town, stopped by. She says hi, by the way.
Wait a minute. It made it sound like she was in town, and then she wasn't planning to, but she did a pop in. She took a little time. Come out. She probably planned on coming over the whole time, coming to town. What do you think?
She did. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. No, she. We'd invited her up, and she's here for a few days and hung out with my kids. They had a blast with her. It was really great. Yeah. Very nice time. And Friday, a couple of our friends, my friends that got married in Mexico earlier this year, a couple of my friends texted my wife and said, "Hey, do you want to go to this EDM artist on Saturday night at this club?" But it's not a club.
Still love the EDMs, don't you?
Still love the EDM. Well, here's the thing: the artist is Bonobo.
Isn't that a tea?
It's a type of monkey, but also maybe a tea.
No, yeah. What's that one with the bubbles in it? Anyway, so Bonobo is the artist.
Yeah, so Bonobo is playing, and our friend, the wife in our friend's couple, does a lot of yoga. And my wife teaches yoga, and so my wife immediately recognizes the artist as like, "Oh, I've got Bonobo on a bunch of my yoga playlists."
Really?
Yeah. So it's not like crazy dubstep, but there's a lot of light EDM that gets on yoga playlists and coffee shop playlists. And
see, because you say EDM and yoga, and those to me seem opposite ends of the spectrum. They don't seem like they would match.
No, it's like rock. It's like the difference between Stairway to Heaven and like Enter Sandman,
Okay.
Like there's a spectrum.
All right.
There's a lot of really chill. I'm really into the
Bonobo's on the spectrum. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that.
I thought that's what you said.
Oh, so anyway, the point of the story is like basically we looked at each other. We're like, oh my God, we could actually go out if her mom's okay with just staying with the kids who sleep through the night anyway.
Okay.
We can take a metro down into the city, take a quick Uber there, and then Uber back, whatever. It's a very expensive Uber, but fine. And we did. So we got to go to a show with friends.
You Ubered from your house downtown?
No, we Ubered from the venue to our house after.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. It was $70, which is a lot, but there was no other way to get home.
Right. And you're trapped in a car with some driver?
He was quiet.
Was he?
Yeah.
Or were you guys just stoned and making out?
We were one of the two.
All right. Wow. Nice. Nice. Well, that's good. And what time did your children decide to wake you up after a night of electro dance funkatowns?
They let my wife woke up my wife early, 5-ish. It was bad, and she had to teach yoga that day, but she did.
Oh,
It was fine. No, but what I want to shout out to. So Radius is the name of this new venue. It's on
where is it?
Cermak and Halstead, basically.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Down near like the down by what is that? University Village?
kind of. Yeah.
Near Chinatown.
Yeah, a little bit west of Chinatown.
Little west of Chinatown.
Yeah, but
Which used to be just warehouses and stuff.
it's a converted warehouse.
Wow.
Yeah, and it is very nice. So it's like, the Aragon Ballroom. You've been there, right?
Yeah.
So, like you go upstairs and it's just a big, giant open space with some bars on the side and back. So picture that, but like not crappy and old. This was that, but in a warehouse, much higher ceilings. You could see sound treatment all up and down all the walls. So they've got it treated really well.
Okay.
Good sound system. And then there's the main warehouse, but there's like kind of a whole side area you can go to if you want like a little break from the music. There's seating, like
Really?
couches. You can go like just like take a load off and just hang out.
Oh, it's just there for anybody to relax?
Yeah, a ton of it. Like really cool. So there's a ton of space, a ton of bars. A beer did cost $16. So that was a bit
For
much.
a regular size, a 12-ounce beer?
It was a tall boy or whatever.
Oh my God.
I'm
out.
So that was a bit much. But hey, if you bring enough edibles, you don't need that. So, but it's a great venue. And the best part was a lot of times these EDM artists go to nightclubs and you need to wear club attire, right? They got a dress code.
Oh, okay.
This was not that. This was like literally like the air, like go into the air gun. It's like wear its shirt and shorts, like whatever.
Okay.
No one cares. So
you didn't club it up?
No, that was the best part for me because it was like, we don't have to worry about getting dressed all fancy. It's not super uptight. It's very chill, very diverse crowd. Tons of guys, girls, and everything in between. Like half the people I thought were women ended up being men with beards. There's just a lot of gender bending action. A little bit. We were not the oldest people by any means.
Bending action.
A lot of EDM shows are like kids in their 20s. This was definitely people in their 30s and people older than us and younger. So if you ever get a chance to see a show at Radius, it's very chill. They have great acts. I think Dead Mouse is going to be there twice in October. Dead Mouse is playing. I think Thievery Corporation is playing there later this year. So they have like pretty huge acts.
Oh man,
just great capacity, great space. You can just move around. Can't recommend it enough. Radius.
Wow.
Good time. Yeah.
$16 for a beer.
It was a lot.
Fixated on that.
Yeah. My wife was not happy with that.
No. Well, the good news tomorrow night is also $5 night at the Sox game. $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $5.
Really?
Yes.
Dude.
Yep.
Can you imagine that at Wrigley? I couldn't.
I don't even like to imagine Wrigley, and I know it exists. I don't like to think of it. It's also SIU alumni night at the Sox game tomorrow. Yeah. Somehow I was like, are you wearing Sox gear or are you going to wear some SIU stuff? I'm like, what if I wear both? What if I go with a Sox shirt and an SIU hat? Will that embarrass you because I'm not color coordinated? Yes. So did your mother-in-law did not choose to awaken with the children at 5:00 on Sunday morning?
No, they were all asleep from the minute we left till the time we got back. So,
well, that's good. So they slept through the night.
It was great. What if someone sits behind you at the Sox game that was in your fraternity?
Well, I wasn't in a fraternity.
I know, but
if
a
there's
drinking buddy, what if a drinking buddy is sitting behind you?
It could be anybody. It could be thousands of people. I don't. Yeah. Well, do you think I will misbehave?
Well, it becomes more likely now, doesn't it?
Well, I I've been running different conversations. Getting drunk with former schoolmates was not one of them, but now thanks for putting that worry on my list. I'll
Hmm.
put that in. I've been practicing all my bear talk. That's benign. Talking, right? Talking about that. Telling embarrassing stories about Molly's youth is off the table. Telling
Oh.
embarrassing stories about my youth is off the table. Making
How
any Joe Paterno jokes is off the table.
Oh God, there goes
For all
half.
these subjects that I, immediately I'm well versed in all of them.
What about embarrassing stories about my childhood?
Okay. And your adulthood. You'll never believe what my co-host did last night. Claims he forgot we were doing a show.
Yeah, you know
All
more
right,
about.
good. That took 30 seconds.
Yeah, you know more about
Baseball
the.
games are notoriously long.
Okay.
I've been working on shadow puppets to entertain him. Maybe some of the characters maybe the puppets come back.
Do
all my politically incorrect puppets.
could you tell them about butt implants?
I could tell them about butt implants. Let me practice by telling you first. Cody, you are the segue master tonight.
Well, it's because we're on a
Oh, that's right. We
schedule
got to get out of here.
because
Well,
I
this isn't a
started this
long.
and
This won't be a long story because it was shocking. Shocking, I tell you. Now I know butt implants are a thing because all the ladies want the badonkadonk. They want the Kim Kardashian. They like big butts, and we cannot lie. The butt is in lately. I go to Costco today for various accoutrements, and I'm checking out, and there is a woman in front of me, and she was a woman. I'm in my head because yesterday I got in trouble because I said something about a woman when someone was telling a story about a woman. They're like, well, but what if it wasn't a woman? No, the story's about a woman. So this woman is there with her husband and kid, or partner and kid, or brother and nephew. I don't know who the hell she was with. Point is, she's wearing really light beige, almost off-white, like yoga pants.
Okay.
And I'm pushing my cart toward the exit, and my head is kind of down. And I glance over because I see something. What I see is two like blood stains, one on each cheek. And because of the sheerness of the yoga pant, I can also see that each buttock is bandaged. So I'm like, oh. And she, there's a definite whang in her back end. She comes out and then she goes whang, and it's out there. So I'm like, ah. So her surgically enhanced buttocks is seeping through her yoga pants. Now, a good Samaritan would probably say, excuse me, ma'am, you seem to be having a little leakage from your buttocks area. Perhaps you would like to wrap a sweater around yourself. However, that probably wouldn't have sat well with the man she was with. What are you doing staring at my, let's say wife for sake of argument, my wife's butt? I'd go, well, because she's having a medical emergency at the Costco checkout. That's why I'm staring at it. And staring as much because I wasn't able to look at it too long because, quite frankly, it grossed me out. Have you ever seen something like that? You ever seen an obvious surgical mishap when you were out and about?
Yeah, I used to ride the CTA.
Oh, there you go. That's why I stay off there.
Yeah.
Maybe it started oozing because she was sitting in the car trying to go to Costco.
God.
It's bouncing up and down. Got no shock absorbers on there. Taking those speed bumps in the Costco parking lot. Your ass just, oh no, my implants are oozing. That's gross. Listen, ladies, if you have any kind of rump, we're happy with it. You don't have to surgically inject your backyard with God knows what, cement. That was what there were people who were going over to Mexico getting that done and then having to have them take out because they were putting cement in their ass.
Oh, Jesus. God. Why?
I didn't make the rules, Cody. I just report on it.
Horrific.
I can't imagine, and God bless women. They're under so much pressure to all look like Barbie. I guess that was a thing that people were worried that they had to look like Barbie when they were young. But, so they're going to all sorts of measures to live up to whatever is in their domes. It's, I don't know. So that was it. That was the that was the butt implant story.
Okay.
And it was obvious. Like, wear darker pants, right?
Yeah.
Don't wear something so sheer that all the bandages in your butt ooze shows through. I guess it's not actually butt ooze. That's what you get when you eat a Lestra. This would be like cheek seepage. Would that be a better way to term it?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's it. Cheek seepage. She had, it almost was like
Oh my
a
God.
googly-eyed ghost staring at me. It was like a bad ass-tacular Halloween. I was like, oh, there's Casper, and he don't look friendly. He's got hyperthyroidism. His eyeballs is popping out. It was crazy.
I am so glad we saved this story for the end.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, you don't open with the ass implant story.
oh my God.
All right. Well, that's that's all. So I got nothing else to say about it. I mean, I could, but it'll just freak you out even more.
Okay.
All right. So, here's the lesson. Stay home if you've had your ass implants. If they're still fresh and oozy, stay home. Send your man to the grocery store. He can do it. Maybe wear darker pants. Maybe maybe don't swing that thing around, showing it off to everybody, scaring them with your ghost face ass pants.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a ghost face killer right there. A mood killer, am I right?
All I can think of is the Power Rangers movie. Ivan Ooze saying, "The ooze is back."
Well, the ooze was back there.
Uh,
Yeah. Oh, see, Monique says there's a reason that the 80s leggings were supposed to be worn with a longer top. Yeah, cover that surgically enhanced booty until it's ready to show off. Until you can walk around in the thong bikini that I know you have set as your goal when you got ass implants. That's it.
Yeah.
Does this get us an explicit label?
no.
Okay, good.
No.
All right. I'm just worried. All right. Well, I'm good. I got nothing else. What do you got? Oh, I do. I got to plug something. Big plug. I'm going to be at the Moonlight Theater in St. Charles, Illinois on Saturday, the 29th of July, performing stand-up comedy. So the link is in the link's not in the chat. Where is it? The link is right here. So there it is. And you can go for tickets and come out and see me. There's two other guys on the show. Should be a good time. I've heard that the venue is beautiful. I've seen guys who've taken pictures there. So now instead of just worrying about, and the good news is I was going to try to write new material, but I'm on strike. So I can't really, I'm not in the Writers Guild, but I'm in SAG-AFTRA. So I'm on strike, and I'm honoring the writer's strike by not writing anything new.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's commitment.
It is commitment. I'm nothing if not a union man, Cody. I back my brothers and sisters. Solidarity. That's what I say. Solidarity and sloth. Those are my two driving principles.
Good.
So yeah. So that's that. You go to moonlighttheater.com. That's theater with an R-E because it's fancy.
Very fancy.
Very fancy. So yeah, and the TMJ show, whatever. Here's how you know when I'm on at TMJ. Check the Brewers schedule. If they're not playing, I'm on.
So are you allowed to perform?
Yes, because this is not a union job.
Oh, so it's only union jobs.
Yeah, I can't do any union jobs. And like if I were, I don't know, if I had a part in Oppenheimer or Barbie, I wouldn't be allowed to go on and promote it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, listen, we haven't talked about it, and I'll just say this. The writers and SAG-AFTRA are 100% right about this. It's ridiculous. And what we're striking for is, nobody, if it was you would strike too. If somebody could take your picture and never pay you again and use it for whatever they wanted and cut everything, cut residuals, cut everything, you'd strike too.
Yeah.
And now they're saying UPS may go on strike, and the amount of money that will cost if they go on strike for one day in America is unbelievable.
Really?
Yep. We got the planet is melting. Everybody's going on strike. There's political unrest. Cody, it could be the end. That's why you should come out to the Moonlight Theater on Saturday, July 29th, and laugh like there's no tomorrow. Because, folks, we're getting closer to the time where there will be no tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm Brian Noonan. Have a wonderful night.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I actually first like I first understood the some of the grievances of these strikes. Like oh my god, 10 years ago,
Yeah.
9 or 10 years ago, because WWE introduced the WWE Network.
Right.
And what that means is WWE used to every month, 12 times a year, they would have a pay-per-view, which you had to pay like $60 or $70 for.
Okay.
So they would get the the ticket fees, right?
Sure.
The ticket stuff and the ticket revenue, and then they would get all the pay-per-view revenue. WWE Network, instead of paying $50 a month for 12 months of the year, now you paid $10 a month and get all of them included in your package. And the wrestlers were not consulted about this.
Oh.
So suddenly the wrestlers were making a whole lot less money, like a whole lot less money.
Yep.
And so this was forever ago, right? And so now when I hear the actors talk about streaming rates and all that stuff, I'm like, that pretty much tracks.
Yeah.
Like, you do like a $1 billion box office, that's one thing, but like, oh, it's streaming now on Disney Plus. What the hell does that mean for my wallet?
They don't give any, they give no numbers for the streaming services. It basically cuts out, back in the day, and I still get residual checks for the network stuff I did, but it's very, very small. And people think that everybody is making Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks money. The Toms are making all the money. 99% of the union is not making enough to really support, themselves. It's a rough racket.
Yeah.
But at least if you used to get stuff, if you got paid. You got paid the first time, then you got paid on the first rerun the same as you made the first time. Then based on some weird formula, you'd get almost nothing. Like I've gotten checks for a penny. I've gotten checks for $7, and it's like, oh, Malcolm in the Middle ran in Japan. How exciting. I got $2.38. Hey, it's mailbox money. Woohoo. Well, the residuals have all but vanished basically with streaming, because they're like, well, it just goes on and on. So that's cut. Then the AI is always, everybody's talking about it, from the writers to the actors, but they're trying to get actors to sign away their image in perpetuity. So if you go in, you can get booked on something for a day rate. If you're under 5, which means you get hired as an actor, but you have 1 to 4 lines. And the SAG basic rate for that day, let's say for a commercial, it's like, I don't know, 500. We'll just say TV episode, $1,500. Okay. So $1,500, that's great for a day's work. Nobody's going to, and then if you go overtime and, union stuff. So nobody's saying that's not great, but that money has dropped as well. But they want you to sign a paper that says, okay, I did a part on, I don't know, pick a show. Like the last one, like Chicago Fire, when I was on Chicago Fire. I did that part. Well, then theoretically they could take my face and my voice and put it in any other show and pay me nothing. That's not right. Nobody else, nobody else would put up with that.
Mm-hmm.
And SAG-AFTRA and the writers shouldn't. And soon, like right now, it doesn't matter because everybody's still got content. You can't watch Saturday Night Live. You can't watch talk shows. It's summer anyway, so they bring out the game shows that they taped back, in the spring and the winter, and there's some reality shows. But pretty soon, we're going to run out of stuff because the prediction is that the strike is going to go for a long time. There has been reports of executives going, yeah, we'll keep them out until once they start losing their apartments, then they'll come back to the table. So
God.
the studios, they got money. They don't care, and it's rough. So that's a lot. Folks, with that bad news, you can still see me live doing all the greatest hits. And maybe you know what? I'm going to make you this guarantee. There's going to be something on this show that I have never done before. I will write something new. So I thought, I will risk my status with the union and give you a new bit. That's how much I mean. So come on out to the Moonlight Theater, moonlighttheater.com. Get your tickets now. Saturday, July 29th, 8 o'clock showtime.
I gotta tell you a quick story you reminded me of that
You.
I meant to include into the Radius story when I saw Bonobo.
Bonobo.
So I was gonna say, like, hey, worried about people using your likeness. What you should do is just become a EDM DJ, because then no one will have sometimes any idea who you look like or even if you're performing. Because Brian,
Bonobo were a disguise?
I don't know if I saw Bonobo. So here's the way it was set up. Picture any big concert hall, and then up at the front, there's the artist. The DJ was not on a stage.
Oh, what was he? Where was he?
On the floor. He was just on the floor. There was like a little fence. Maybe it was one step up, but he was basically like, you couldn't see him from anywhere.
What?
Yeah, well, because it's EDM. It's like you don't need to see him play guitar, do anything. But there's one person that I presume had a turntable way up front, and they'd occasionally lift up their arm and people would cheer. But we were like 50 or probably 80 people back, so we couldn't really see. But every once in a while, there'd be a little decrescendo in the music, and somebody else would walk up to the artist and they'd like raise up their arms, and then people would cheer, which we presume means that a new DJ came and took over.
Like
and
tag team?
That happened. Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing about, like, if you're doing like club kind of like dance music, it continues to flow into the next song continuously, right?
Right.
So when I went to Vegas and I saw Tiesto at the nightclub, I remember my friends, we got moved from a booth near the back towards the front a while into the night.
Right.
When we got to the booth in the front, one of my friends pointed and said, "That's not Tiesto. Tiesto's done." And we're like, "What do you mean?" He's like, that's somebody else. Tiesto left.
That's Bob.
Like he literally left, and we didn't know.
Left.
We were just we're jamming, and there's really good beats, and it was great, and lasers or everything. And then at some point, he just kind of walked off, and some other dude walked on and kept DJing. No one noticed. No one noticed. My friends were
So,
like,
all right, let me ask, please. If that's the case, why are these guys getting paid? Couldn't you just get an iPad?
No, there's a lot of debate around the EDM community around that. Some artists will do things like they'll grab the mic and they'll yell certain things. Some will bring an instrument or two and play a little bit. Sometimes there'll be like backup percussionists.
A juice harp or something?
Yeah, like when we saw Odessa at the UIC Pavilion, Odessa had like 20 people on stage, and it was like they were doing like a drum circle while they were playing their techno. So that was like a whole thing.
Are you trolling me with these names? None of them sound real.
I have Odessa's album right above me. I can grab it. Yeah, it's real. And drumsticks. But yeah, but the funny thing is, we were doors opened at 9 at Radius. We got there like 10:30, and we stayed till about 2. No idea.
Wow.
If we saw
you
Bonobo.
Really went out like a young person.
Yeah, no, it was
Didn't
great.
go out till 10:30.
Yeah, and speaking of X, I ran into somebody I knew actually, and he found a random pill from some stranger and took it.
Oh no, is he alive?
Yeah, people don't do drugs. Winners don't do drugs.
Winners don't. Well, winners don't do strange drugs they found on the floor.
No.
Winners pay top dollar for their drugs.
They went up to somebody, asked for gum or somebody, and then they were like, "Here's a party pill or something," and I think they took it, and it ended up being ecstasy or something.
Good Lord.
Which X stands for ecstasy. But the point is, we don't know if we saw the artist, and I think that's the only genre of music.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Listen, I'm not going to guarantee that I'm actually going to be on stage Saturday night. You're coming to see a Brian Noonan show. Maybe it's a great Brian Noonan impersonator. Maybe it's me in a holographic state. Maybe I zoom it in.
Ooh.
Maybe I do the show right from here, but it's broadcast to the theater with an RE because it's classy.
Oh, very nice.
There's a lot going on.
All right.
Well, I'm glad you shared your mystery. Your Did we see the DJ
No idea.
or did we see just some guy who can spin a record?
Literally no idea.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
For $16 a beer, you better see the person you paid to get in to see.
Well, no, I better have a good beer. It was a good beer, but got one. Yeah, you teased one other thing at the start of the show that I don't want to get into a lot, but you also reminded me of the one other anecdote that you want to hear before we close the show. And that is, I won't get into it, and I don't want to give too many details for reasons I'll tell you later. But we brought my children, my family, we all went with my mother-in-law to a museum this weekend that we knew my son would be super amped about and jazzed about. And it's a museum is full of all of his favorite things in the world. And we knew we'd be super excited. What do you
went to the Eggs and Toast Museum?
Yeah, oh boy. Oh boy. What do you think the highlight of the entire thing was for him?
It had to be some sort of train, right?
Nope.
Oh.
It was when we got to this location, the police traffic people directed us to drive onto the grass.
Ooh.
And park on the grass in a big field because this was like a big outdoor thing. And when we pulled on that grass, you would have thought that we had shot laughing gas into the backseat of the car. He thought it was unbelievable that we were the car's in grass. What? And he was just laughing maniacally. And the whole time we're there, he just kept talking about how the car was on the grass. So this is why you don't buy kids nice things.
Yeah, you could have just gone down to the school down the street and driven around on their field. Yep. Saved yourself a day at the train museum.
Yeah. So I love them.
That's hilarious. That's so hilarious.
Love them so much. They're so great.
Now, did your young daughter appreciate the trains at all? She's still too young to appreciate trains, isn't she?
She loves everything. She's the happiest little baby.
Thank goodness.
She just laughs at everything. She loves me. Like I walk in the room and she just like she's such a daddy's girl. It's ridiculous.
That is very nice. Yeah, well, listen, I wish I knew where we could go drive. I like driving on the grass too. When we go to the apple orchard and stuff, they'll have you drive on the grass to park. I'm like, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna do some donuts. Just spin it out.
Off-road. Oh, dude. And I'm in the market for a car, but we'll talk about that next week.
All right. We'll talk about that next week. Yeah. You're going to get a big giant van. Is it time?
My wife really wants a hybrid.
Oh.
Because she's environmentally conscious and also better miles per gallon and fuel efficiency. I'm thinking about the Toyota was like the RV RAV4. RAV4.
Yeah, RAV4, Toyota RAV4.
Is that real?
That's a real vehicle.
Yeah, we're thinking about the Toyota RAV4 because it seems good. There's a Volvo one that it's got like an inch less head space. Like these are how I'd pick cars.
Yes.
I'm like,
no, trust me. Yes, you got to be able to sit there, and I'm sure, like in all the cars that we've ever had, there's not much room in the passenger, the driver's side rear. Because I have to have the seat back, and you're as tall as or taller than me. So yes, headroom is important. Plus, your hair is very high.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be all crushed in. Every time you got out of the car, it looks like you have hat hair.
I know.
You have a car dome. That's no good.
I know. Yes, thank you, Stuart. RAV4 hybrid. Yeah. I think I can get. I have looked. I can get one for under 30,000, which is, I think, probably for a hybrid SUV in the last few years, like not terrible. So we'll see.
I don't know. I haven't looked at it. I'm praying my car keeps going. I don't want. I don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah. So we'll talk about it in future weeks.
All right. Listen,
people have strong opinions about cars.
We'll talk. We'll get into it. Yeah. This time, for this car, I think everyone, the bar that we've set for you is at least know what color it is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Anybody who remembers the last car buying journey. All right, well, listen, that's all. Come to the go to what did I say? Moonlighttheater.com. That's theater with an RE because it's fancy. And you can get some tickets for Saturday night. It'd be fun.
In St. Charles. And thanks, live listeners, for putting up on me being late. I won't do it again.
That's all right. You have a lot of responsibilities. I just have to drag my butt upstairs. And it's hard with my new ass implants.
Okay.
Because after I saw her, I ran out and got myself a pair. Wait till you see me in some Wranglers. Woo, doggy. All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for everything. I'm Brian Noonan. That's Cody Gough. Cody.
Bye.